Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the SPH Mentor Program Kickoff. I'm Carrie Moore. I'm an SPH Alumni Society board member. I'm the chair of the Mentor Committee and a proud 2004 graduate of Community Health Education Program. Before we start, I do want to say a few words to my fellow alumni and friends. Serving as a mentor is one of the most meaningful ways we can shape the future. Your guidance and encouragement make a lasting impact on the next generation of public health and healthcare leaders. Thank you for giving back to SPH through your time, talent, and expertise. Over the past 80 years, the University of Minnesota School of Public Health has prepared countless influential leaders who've shaped the field and advanced the health of communities across the globe. Our impact continues to grow, influencing the way public health is practiced today and for generations to come. We have so much to be proud of: a vibrant community of more than 12,800 alumni, nearly 130 dedicated faculty members, and close to 1,000 students currently enrolled. But an incredible point of pride is that SPH has one of the largest public health mentor programs in the nation, and one of the largest mentor programs across the entire University of Minnesota. This year alone, we're proud to have more than 300 participants taking part in this powerful program. Tonight, we're excited to kick off the 2025-2026 SPH Mentor Program. Throughout this evening, we'll share key information, best practices, and helpful guidance to ensure you get the most out of your mentoring experience. You'll also hear from an incredible panel featuring 2 seasoned mentors and 2 past mentees who will share their insights and experiences in the program. To help us dive in and officially start the evening, I'm delighted to introduce Zach Kramer, SPH Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement.
Thank you, Carrie, and hello, everyone. Happy to meet all of you. I'm here to ensure that you're all coming into this experience with intention and an open mind. And first, I want to do a quick check-in with everyone. How are you all feeling about this mentorship experience you all just signed up for? I know this process can be a little intimidating and awkward for everyone, including mentees and mentors. So let's go ahead and clear the air here. I, for one, am feeling nervous. This is my first event in my new role here at the university, and I'm really hoping this event goes well. And I'm introducing a couple of new facilitation techniques that I hope keep you all engaged online. So thank you all for using those emojis. So I want to see how everyone's feeling about starting this mentorship. You can be excited, you may be nervous, you could be cautiously optimistic, shy, or maybe even a little insecure. So I want you to channel your inner emoji, and actually in the chat, I want people to share what emotions are coming up for them in the chat, and we can look at those. And I don't want to see any basic responses like good or fine. I encourage you all to dig deep with your words, use that college-educated vocabulary of yours, and vividly describe how you're feeling. And you can use 2 words if you want, if you think that's more descriptive. So go ahead and put those words in the chat, and I encourage you all to look at that. Awesome. See, a lot of people are excited, optimistic, nervous and excited, open-minded. See a couple curiouses. Love it. This is great. Thank you all for humoring me. As you can see, many of you are not alone in how you're feeling right now. So checking in with people helps us better understand where we're all coming from and can help us be more empathetic, vulnerable, build trust, and collaborate to find effective solutions together. And I bring this up because in your mentorship, you'll be continually checking in with each other to provide that emotional support as well as career advice. So it's important that we start developing this habit today. Another good habit coming into the mentor-mentee relationship is doing the work to understand ourselves and our own stories. Can you articulate why are you where you are today? Recalling back your past experiences that have shaped your current beliefs and actions that ultimately brought you here to the School of Public Health. Do you know where you want to go and what goals and aspirations you have for after you get your degree? And finally, how do you want to get there? There are many paths to get to the same destination, and a mentor can help you evaluate those options. And all these questions allow us to reflect on our own personal journeys and build our self-confidence and be more intentional with our actions. Like a lighthouse giving a lost ship its bearings in the night so it doesn't run ashore. Now, students, understand that you are the main character of your story and only you can answer these questions. Your mentors can't answer them for you. And mentors, use these questions to reflect on your own life experiences and the lessons that you have learned along the way, and support your mentees on their journey as they ponder their own answers to these questions themselves. We're going to pause here and I'll give everyone 2 minutes to really reflect on these questions. Feel free to take notes if you so desire and if you have a pen and paper in front of you. But take this time to really expand your own self-awareness of your motives, aspirations, and methods. And we're going to go ahead and I'll start a timer for 2 minutes, but use this silence to really ponder these questions. Take another 30 seconds to wrap up your thoughts. All right. So it's been 2 minutes. I hope this was helpful. Navigating our own personal journeys is at the core of every mentor-mentee partnership. And I hope you remember these questions. And I encourage you to come back to these questions during your regular check-ins with your mentors and mentees to ensure that you're moving in the direction that you want to go. And I'll hand it back over to Carrie to talk a little more about mentoring itself.
Thank you, Zach, for helping us all reflect on what's most important so we can be more intentional with this experience. Before we begin our panel, I want to take some time to go over what is mentoring and mentoring expectations. When we talk about mentoring, we're really talking about partnership. It's about two people committing to show up, to listen, and to learn from one another. Good mentoring takes openness, a willingness to share your experiences and to learn from someone else's perspectives. It's a chance to grow, to strengthen your communication skills, and to build trust. Most of all, mentoring helps us learn, not just about our fields or careers, but about ourselves and each other. And it's important to remember mentoring is a two-way street. Communication is what makes it work. So students, don't hesitate to reach out first. Your mentors are here because they want to connect with you. And mentors, if you haven't heard from your mentee, feel free to send that message. The best mentoring relationships happen when both sides stay engaged and hold each other accountable. That's how you make this experience truly meaningful. One of the biggest keys to successful mentoring relationship is staying in touch regularly. Aim to connect at least once a month. That can look like an email, it might be a quick text, a phone call, meeting for coffee, or even a Zoom chat. The format doesn't matter as much as the consistency. And life gets busy. That's okay. It happens. Just let your mentor or mentee know when you'll be tied up so no one is left wondering or worried. It's also really helpful to set clear, realistic goals together. Think SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Students, ask yourself, what kind of support do I want? How can my mentor best guide me? Those goals give your partnership direction. They're your roadmap for the year. And of course, honor your commitment to the relationship. Mentoring truly is a two-way street. Come prepared for your meetings, show up when you say you will, and make the most of your time together. When you do meet, choose a public space, maybe a coffee shop, park, or even a campus lounge. It helps everyone feel comfortable and keeps things professional and safe. If you live far from each other, meet virtually with camera on to be able to build that connection. If you keep communication open, set goals, and show up for each other, you'll both get so much more out of this experience. And with that, let's hear how to make the most of the mentor program experience directly from past participants, starting with this quick video.
Serving as a mentor is just an opportunity to give back. You can write a check and say, that's great and I feel good about myself, and you walk away, but I think you need to do more.
So for me, mentoring is very close to coaching. If you have somebody in your life who tends to ask you really good questions, give you good feedback, has resources when you need them, and it just is generally supportive, that's mentoring. And to me, the best of mentoring is two-way, peer mentoring, where you're learning from that person, they're learning from you.
I've benefited because it brings me joy. Intergenerational relationships are extremely important to me now and always have been. And being a mentor at this time in my life gives me that opportunity to meet people I would not have met otherwise and learn what they are going through and what their challenges are. I've always found that having a mentor is such an important part of a person's life because they believe in you.
There's so much that's great about being a part of a mentoring program. You are instantly friends with this person. They want to learn from you, you want to learn from them, and you're going to be inspired. You're going to see a different way of looking at the world generationally, but also they're most likely from a different culture, from a different background.
Take advantage of these folks who want to help you. It can often seem like you're asking for too much, or you don't want to bother anybody, or you don't want to hassle someone. But being able to have those creative conversations and feeling that joy, it was a real source of inspiration. And so I think over those 2 years of school, I really felt like I had someone to cheer me on and learn from, and also just grow with, that we were growing together because of the program.
We learn in school, but we really learn with the experience, and that's what I think as a mentor we can give them. We take that book smart and then say, okay, now let me put it into real perspective of how you would use that or what it would do for you. I think that's what the mentoring is all about.
I really encourage all students to join the mentorship program and find someone that will be their advocate. and help them navigate through the world.
Awesome. What a great segue into our amazing panel with former mentors and mentees. You might recognize some of them from the video. Please join me in welcoming our panelists, Linda, Jamie, Najat, and Nicholas. Thank you all for being here with us this evening. I want to kick things off with some introductions. Would each of you please just tell us your full name, whether you're a mentor or a mentee, who you were matched with, and the school public health degree that you received or are currently pursuing. And maybe Linda can start us off.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Thank you for spending your evening here. I'm Linda Brandt, and I have a epidemiology master's degree, but I also started in community health, and I'm here with Najat.
Awesome. Thank you. Najat, you want to go next?
Sure, yes. My name is Najat, and I'm a second-year Master of Public Health in the Community Health Promotion Program with a minor in health equity.
Awesome. And Jamie, let's have you next.
Hello, I'm Jamie Hornibrook. I'm an ISPer, so I was on the non-traditional program, and I have, I guess, been a mentor about 10 years or so, and I'm here with Nick.
Great. And Nick, round us off.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Burrup. I'm a second-year Master of Healthcare Administration student, and I've been fortunate enough to have Jamie as a mentor.
Great. Thank you, Nick. So I'll kick things off with our first question. And our first question is just, why did you join the School of Public Health Mentor Program? And this question is for everyone, so whoever wants to take this first, feel free to come off mute and get started.
Sure.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, I just took the opportunity. I mean, I think it's kind of how we all, as mentors, how we got into it. You get an email that says, "Hey, we're looking for some mentors," and you just say, "Well, geez, I've had this opportunity given to me. I've got some experience, and I'm sure I can find some time to sit down and meet with people and learn from them." And so it was as simple as that. And then again, kind of like all things, you find that you gain more than you give. And so it's always been a wonderful event. So I continue.
Thanks, Jamie. Who wants to go next?
I can chime in. So I'm not originally from Minnesota, and so I think something that really intrigued me about the program was having somebody here in Minnesota familiar with, in my case, the healthcare organizations here was something super valuable. Our program, I'm pretty sure, required us to do it anyway, but I saw it as a win-win because it was a great opportunity for me. I think something that stood out to me from the video was talking about that like multi-generational relationship. Like obviously I'm a student and Jamie has a lot of years doing healthcare administration and had a lot of insight and perspectives that were helpful to me, especially going into my summer residency, that I found really helpful.
Okay, Nick. Linda, you want to go next?
Sure. I am just so grateful for the mentors I've had over the years. When I was in the school of public health, Suzanne Gaines from Hennepin County was my mentor, and she just came to my wedding many years later last month via Zoom. It's just lifelong relationships. I also had Gary Hollander in Wisconsin who started Diverse and Resilient, and he always made sure that I spoke first as kind of the more as female, but also as someone who was younger and less experienced. So I've just had really thoughtful mentoring over the years, and I want that for everybody.
Great. And Najat?
Okay. When I started my MPH last year, I feel like there was just a lot of nervousness and fear of failure when you start a grad school that just comes along with it. So I really didn't have anyone or someone to reach out to for support and kind of a backup. That's why I was interested in the mentor program, because I wanted to connect with someone within the public health field, especially for just some guidance and advice or any support that I might need along the way. And that was exactly what Linda was able to provide for me. So, yeah.
Great. So now our next question is, I'm sure a lot of folks on the call here are wondering how to get started and how to set this up for success. So how did all of you begin to foster your successful mentor relationships? And let's go in reverse order than the previous question. So let's start with Najat this time.
Linda and I, when we first was introduced, we set a time where we would meet every month, once a month, over for an hour on a Zoom call. This is something that we already set up, communicated about what works best for us. And then with that, we would reach out to each other before the meeting too, which she's really great at reaching out ahead of time too. And seeing if that still works for us through email communication. And then after that, we'll just meet via Zoom. And she's been really flexible throughout the time to help me along the way, working flexibly with my schedule, especially as someone who also works and goes to school, grad school. So it's been really great. The best practice I would recommend is that just keeping an open mind when coming in to meet with your mentors, and to have goals if you have something that you want to work on, to communicate that, not being afraid of sharing your struggles or anything that you want to work on with your mentors so that they can be of support to you.
Great. Linda, what would you like to add to that?
Yeah, well, it's clear anyone paired it with Najat is just super fortunate. We have been able to coach each other, so it's definitely a partnership. I love the introduction comment saying, like, this is a two-way street. We both gain. It's Minnesota, so you might need to, make an agreement around using radical candor, Kim Scott's book about care personally and challenge directly, because the best feedback is the stuff that maybe someone in their life is not willing to say. They care about them, but they're not able to be honest with them. So I would say for sure, radical candor. If you are on Zoom like us, turn on the AI notes so you can look back at your notes. Really take it seriously as a place that's growing both of you.
Great. And Nick, how about you?
Yeah, I think pretty similar. Jamie and I we were introduced to each other and we set up Zoom meetings. Think about monthly, maybe bi-monthly, and just kind of checked in as I went through the summer residency search and then leading up to my summer residency and then preparing for administrative fellowship searches as well. And I think just, as I mentioned earlier, just that ability to get advice from somebody that's, been in my shoes and really gone through the experience that I've had, and also has that advantage of having that hindsight, and the years of experience that he has was super helpful for me.
And Jamie?
Yeah, I think I've done this enough times. My real take on it, and I think everybody has to find their own niche, but I've always started the first meeting and I just say, this is about you. I want this to be about you. Please tell me what you're looking for, and let's start with you as the mentee as far as how much we're going to meet. Find out, what are you looking for? How can I help that? Are there any issues specifically that we can jump into? And I think, to Nick's point, I think, yeah, usually what I end up doing is say to people, let's just put it on our calendar every single month. We'll just put a date out there. And then that way it's a placeholder. There are times when, you get on the phone and Nick says, hey, I don't have anything going on, or I'm really overwhelmed. Let's do it at a different time, or whatever. And I think, you got to let it play itself out. And it's a relationship, and there's times where I think with Lily, we got on a couple extra times. that something was going on, and so you just put it on the calendar. And I think you don't want to make it like it's this formal thing, or you can, but you don't have to. You do it with what's going to work for that person, what's working for you. I, I think, make it yours. It's a relationship between two people, and make it about that relationship, and don't worry about checking boxes, etc. Um, there were times we'd get on the phone for maybe or on Zoom for 15 minutes, and we'd say, that's everything we need to do this time. But next month, I've got, I'm making some decisions about the summer, or I'm making, whatever. So let's plan on it a little longer next time. Let it play itself out, and I think that gets the outcome you're all looking for. So hopefully that helps a few people, but don't take it as a, I've got to be this thing, this mentor that has all the knowledge. That's not it at all. It's a relationship. So
Great.
that's how I've seen it.
Thanks, Jamie. And this next question's pretty similar to your response, but if you have anything else that you want to add on to that, it would be helpful. But in terms of everyone, we know everyone has the best intentions, but all of us with our schedules can get really busy. And so intentionally maintaining the mentorship relationship when we have these busy schedules, just what advice do you have for folks? And I know, Jamie, you kind of spoke to that. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I let it play itself out, and let them kind of tell you what's going on, and just before you get off one call, just say, hey, we're scheduled to meet next month on this date, and then that way they can look at their schedule and say, oh geez, that's, I'm doing something that day. I Then that way it plays itself out, and you get the schedules to balance a little bit. But yeah, don't it doesn't have to be anything, you know, formal. It's a relationship.
Thanks, Jamie. Nick, do you have anything to add?
No, I think Jamie summed that up perfectly. Just not making it like so like formal and polished up, just being a friend and being a mentor, and just being there for them when they need it, and that can ebb and flow.
Great. Linda?
Same thing, having a recurring calendar invite. So you just can have a reminder set for that a week before, and it's on your calendar, and you make it happen.
Great. Najat, anything to add?
Yeah, just following up on that, the having a set schedule ahead of time really helps, and reaching out ahead of time, communicating if that still works for you or not, with your mentor, and also being just flexible. I know Linda has been working really great with me, because if it's during my lunch break that I'm meeting with her, she's completely okay with me having my lunch during our conversation and stuff like that. So I agree with not keeping it too formal, but having that relaxed environment for you and your mentor.
Great. This next question is just for the mentors. So for Linda and Jamie, when we're for the matching program and we're matching participants, we use a combination of primary and secondary factors to try to create the best match possible. But we acknowledge not every match has people perfectly aligned. But we do acknowledge each mentor and mentee brings a valuable and unique perspective to the relationship. And every pairing offers an opportunity for growth, learning, and meaningful exchange. And as mentors who have been matched with mentees with different degrees from your own before, I'm curious of what advice and insights for these types of matches you have for them to be successful.
So I can talk to that one because I'm someone who does have a broad range of interests. There's a book called Range that really talks about the advantage of generalists, and many of us are that. Two of the biggest pieces of advice that were useful to me came from non-public health people. Just last December, Sheryl Sandberg said to me, really work for an organization or work in a job where what they care about is what you are hired to do, and then bring that public health perspective to it. And then when I was a graduate school student, Jeff Nygaard talked about read the business section. that is where you're going to find out what's really going on in these organizations. So those are just two examples of the advantage of someone outside your field, but so much of what you need to know is very generalizable. Networking is the same, professional development is the same. There's so much that someone who's broadly curious about the world is going to be helpful to you, even if they don't know about your specialty.
Yeah, and I think you're not really trying to make them into whatever you are. You're trying to help them, and they have whomever they are. They have questions about what they're doing and where they're going and who they should connect up with. And Lily and I were together for 2 years, and I learned as much out of her as I could have ever gotten out of anybody. And but I looked at her resume and I actually asked her if I could share it with a few people that I worked with so that I could get more eyes on it for her. And it doesn't matter that I'm in healthcare administration. She's in a totally different field, and so it was terrific. And the mentoring to me is the same either way. You're still, go back to relationship. You're trying to help them just get through certain things. With Nick, you had to teach him that winter last year was a mild winter. he didn't quite understand that, but he might this year. We'll see. But so you're kind of you get a lot of new and new ideas, but you're really mentoring is mentoring. You're doing it the same, whatever their field is.
Thank you. This next question is just for the mentees. So Najat and Nick, as past mentees, what do you think you gain most from your mentoring relationship, and what advice would you give current mentees in this year's program?
Okay, I can go first. I would say what I gain most is just relationship with someone within my field or public health field, and also gaining confidence and different perspective within the field, because me and Linda might be within the public health field, but we both have different backgrounds on how we got there, and also where we're going at with the public and within public health. So she helped me really understand the various fields out there that we can do within our degree. And also just having someone who just listens and is able to challenge you and coach you, because she's natural at that too, because she also does that professionally. I think she's been really great at listening to what my challenges is or what I want to work on, and just sharing tools and resources that I need for me to be able to grow. My advice is just for mentees is just to come with an open mind, and also stay engaged and communicate effectively with your mentors, because without that communication or engagement, you really would not be gaining a lot from it. So yeah, so stay engaged.
Great, thank you. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, to add on that, I would say I think what I gained most was, as I mentioned before, just being able to have Jamie as a resource to ask him. He's been in my shoes and he understands like maybe the residency process and going through an administrative residency. And so I remember like picking his brain a lot in the spring before my summer residency, asking him, what should I learn? Like, what sort of things should I try to do in 3 months? And I remember getting some really good advice from him. My advice for mentees in particular is I think this relationship is unique in the sense that it's not your direct manager. There's no dumb question. And especially with a mentor-mentee relationship as well, I think this is a great resource to ask maybe those dumb questions that you might be afraid to ask to other people, because they really just want what's best for you. And I think that would be my advice, is just use them as a sounding board, ask the dumb questions. That's totally fine. This is the place to do it.
Great, thank you. Now, my last question before we open it up to the group is specifically for the mentors again. So Linda and Jamie, collectively, between the two of you, you have served over 20 years as mentors in this mentor program. And we have a number of first-time mentors on the call here and participating this year. So what advice do you have for mentors?
And I think we've answered a lot of it. I think, it's make it your own. I think Najat said really well, stay engaged, continue it. Don't let it drop just because you go through, when you get into the holiday break and then you're coming out of it, take that time and get back together in January and connect up and see how things are going. Um, I, you know, I've ended up doing the multiple years as a mentor, but then I've also done the clerkships in the summer, a few clerkships, and those are totally different, but totally engaging for me as well. And so, those of us who have been in the field for a number of years, I think the um, you get kind of excited again because you get to see what it's like again. Being at that first part where these people are kind of deciding their lives and figuring it out. And so I think this is about as good of an opportunity as you have. Take time and really be involved and stay engaged. It's a great ride, and meet new people.
I so agree with what you said, Jamie, and I was going to refer back to how you said that you've gained more than you've given. It's a two-way street. It makes it sustainable. I think if you're not looking forward to that session, maybe something you need to like shift it that you can tell you're really learning from your mentoring student. And my practical advice is I love to start that first meeting with a 5-minute life story. And the mentor or whoever suggests it goes first, obviously. But you learn like, who is this person? Where are they coming from? What do they care about? What's shaped their life? So you get to start caring about them personally because it's not just professional advice. They can get that from AI, frankly. So you want to really build that relationship so that you care about each other. It's sustainable. And I just will say, even when I got married last month, we did lots of pre-wedding kind of gatherings, and the 5-minute life stories was the most popular gathering where people got to just really get to know another person in a short amount of time. So be open to learning, and you'll get a ton out of this experience.
Great. Thank you very much, panelists. I now want to invite folks on the call here to add their questions to the chat, or if you want to use the hand raise function, we can call on you there if you want to come off mute for that. Does anyone have any questions?
I've got a question for Jamie. Are there any mistakes that either party could make? Because I know he'll have an answer to this one.
Yeah, yeah, you could make a mistake. I mean, if you try and lead people, or if you try and try and get too into the solving a problem, because really it's not my job to solve your problem. It's my job to kind of help you and lead you and and give you some ideas, and again, so that's goes back. I've said it a few times. It's about the relationships. It's this is a relationship. This isn't me directing you or anything else. It's really an opportunity to let's talk and figure out what you're needing and how can I do it. So I think that's probably the one mistake that you can make. You get too much into I'm the boss instead of I'm a mentor. So it's a great question, though.
Looking in the chat, I see a question about contact information. So everyone who has been matched should have received an email with introducing their mentor and mentee. So you can email each other to get additional contact information. Teresa, if you didn't get that email, I can definitely check to make sure you did get it, and I can re-forward that over so you have their information.
you have a hand up.
Oh, yes, Karen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Larson. I'm Director of Operations with Minneapolis Clinic of Neurology and an MHA alum, more recent, having gone back to school. And this is my second year in the mentorship program as a mentor. And one thing I'd love to ask for the panelists is what has been a favorite like meeting point or just thing to do, activity if you have been able to get together in person. My mentee and I last year found that like going for walks around campus, even in the cold of winter, was just a refreshing change. And then coffee shop, there's a great place called Open Book that's local right near campus. And so that was another fun one, but would love your fresh ideas. Also too, the former mentee and I are going to reconnect at the SPH community event that has been promoted. So I think that's always a great opportunity.
Yeah, in the first few years pre-COVID, I always met people. I would drive to campus. I worked down in Burnsville, but I would drive up and um, I loved going to coffee shop and just sit down and one-on-one. Now, since COVID, then it's become this, oh, Zoom is easier and blah, blah, blah. But I think this year I'm hoping we can um, get together more. And so, yeah, no, it's a great idea. Walk or anything to just take time and chat. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I would say sharing what you're passionate about, wherever that leads you to go, of like this, like, for example, the Wild Rumpus Bookstore in Linden Hills is one of my favorite places to go. So show people what you care about, and walking, of course, is awesome. And there's a question in the chat about inviting people to your home. That seems perfectly fine to me.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I also saw a question about formal events that the school is facilitating for people specifically in the mentor program. I know we're evaluating some opportunities to check in with folks throughout the school year to provide check-ins and further career development conversations. Kalia, do you want to expand any more on some upcoming stuff that we have for folks in the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we'll be doing throughout the year is contacting everyone in the mentor program and sharing different opportunities, whether you're in person or you're here in Minnesota and you'd like to meet with your mentor or have an opportunity with your mentor or other mentees and mentors if your mentor or mentee lives out of state and can't make to those events. But it's going to be consistent communication and sharing those pieces. We did have, and Carrie will share a little bit more of this. We, had a great event that's going to be at Diane's place. But unprecedented, we sold out very quickly. We opened registration for like half a week and we sold out on the event, which tells us that these are the types of events that folks really want to be at as well too. And so we're really exploring how we can bring more of those types of opportunities for mentees and mentors as well. And then we, as Zach touched, typically in February, we will do a career development event. That's usually a virtual event. And we're hoping to have another in-person component to that as well. And we also have a mentor appreciation dinner to wrap up the entire program. And again, throughout the year, we'll continuously connect with mentors and mentees to share these opportunities so that you can be some of the first people to be able to register for these events as well too.
Great. Any more questions? If not, Carrie, I believe that's your cue to wrap us up.
It is indeed. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us tonight. And on behalf of the Mentor Program, thank you for participating in this incredible program. We just talked a little bit about the in-person events. So if you and your mentor and mentee are both here in Minnesota and looking for an opportunity to connect, you want to meet other SPH alumni, students, faculty, staff, and friends, stay watching. We will do our best to communicate with you. And as Kablia said, that community reception sold out. So get in there for the future events. We just really want to wish you guys a wonderful year together. We are always here to help support and to troubleshoot. And Zach is sitting right here in front of us. If you have a problem, if you have a question, don't hesitate to reach out to Zach. He coordinates the program. He's here to help. We look forward to staying connected. We'll be in contact with you throughout the year. Have a great night, everybody.